Oh yeah, I learned lots of lessons. Like, there's a lot of caffeine in a Starbucks strawberry refresher, and you should not give it to your child 1 hour before you want to go to bed.
Am I going to let that person make me walk away from God?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I going to choose to get back up and continue to seek him in his presence?
Some of the most rewarding things in life are things you really do not want to do.
Are we actually acting like he is the Lord? And so when we sing songs is when we lie the most, because we are saying things, but we're not following through on them.
I give you my heart. I think it's a real experience when the power of God falls on somebody in such a way that their body doesn't know how to respond except
to clap.
The summer has flown by.
It has.
I walked out my front door. It's only the end of August and 10 degrees this morning.
I know. Here's the thing.
That's 10 degrees in Canada. If for our 5 American listeners,
it's 30. I don't know.
10 degrees would be
50?
like low 70s, high 60s, somewhere around there, I think.
I know nothing.
Actually, all right, Lindsay's looking it up. I'm really bad. 10 degrees. What is it?
So it's been such a hot
50.
summer.
Oh, nailed it.
Oh,
you nailed it. 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's been so hot this summer. So like a good hot summer for like going to the beach and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been so busy that we haven't done any of it. So our week of vacation is the end of August. So
in the cold. So you're going to be beaching it in the cold.
We have a bucket list that is half finished for the summer, and left on our bucket list are things like going to the beach, building a sandcastle, sleeping in a tent, having a water fight, like things that I really
want it to be hot.
Don't want to do in 10-degree weather. Not that it's 10 degree during the day, but it's still like 20 is sweater weather. It's not, let's go to the beach. So on Saturday, we're off, and it's supposed to like be 24, feels like 28. So we're like, okay, we got to get it all in on Saturday. So we have a busy day ahead.
Yeah, it seems like this summer in particular, I don't know where the time went. Like I had 4 weeks of holidays, and I blinked and I was in my last week. And mind you, we had family reunions. We had a trip to see friends in the States, went to Disney World. I was doing renos on my house, putting it back together after a flood, like all different types of things like that. But time evaporates when...
Yeah. But I find when you think back to the beginning of summer, it feels like months ago.
Yeah.
So the time was there. I think it's just because you just fill summer because people don't want to leave their house in the winter. So in the summer, it's like, let's do all of the social things. And that makes just time go so fast.
Yeah. And I think it's specifically in the summer with all of the social things, I wish that we would recognize how fast and packed that we make things. Mm-hmm. And if we could just have more lazy days, particularly in my family, because it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's great weather. We've got lots of friends. Boom, 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 boom. And then did I have a moment of downtime? No. And I didn't. Like,
that's why you have to take your vacation in the winter.
I can't.
You can't go anywhere.
If I take my vacation, my wife's a teacher. If I take my vacation in the winter, it's just me at home by myself while my wife and kids are at school.
Anytime you're vacationing with children, though, there isn't really downtime.
No, it's true.
So, like, even if you stayed home with your children, it's almost like we prefer to go out with our children is more relaxing than being home with our children because there's
interesting.
Like,
I find the opposite. Well, yeah, but my kids will get at it no matter where we go. So. Like
I would rather be at like Peterborough Zoo with my children, and that's still relaxing. Like you're walking and meandering and whatever, or like in town Coburg. I don't know. Maybe it's just that there's something better when you have like a drink in your hand. A drink.
You want to clarify?
Well, I cut out coffee, so I was gonna say a coffee in your hand, but now I have matcha in my hand. Cheers.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll cheers that coffee. There you go.
Yeah.
I have an iced coffee in my hand. That gross slurping noise.
Mine wasn't very slurpy.
Lindsay is not impressed.
No, he's like, I'm going to have to edit that out. Put another sound in front.
Yeah. I'm cutting that out. Yeah, my kids, they've had enough of each other. They're ready for school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're ready for school.
And I'm ready for them to go to school.
We did. So we're gonna get to transitioning into the fall and our topic in a bit, but our summer was a lot of together in a vehicle driving around. So we had a family reunion up in Muskoka. So that was great. There was like 30 plus of Ruth's dad's side, and we, some ex like collegiate volleyball players, and so there was lots of sports and having a good time on the beach. But you're around a lot of people constantly. And then, we packed up the truck, came home, did a couple days of renovations, and took off to see friends in Georgia. And then we went to Disney World, and it was just everybody's together the whole time, all four of us, which is great. Memories were made. But my personality for rest and relaxation is space and quiet and checking out.
Yeah.
And my kids can only do so much time together before the friction really gets happening. I feel like that might be a lot of kids.
That might be anyone.
This is just, I'm just basing it on my parenting experience. That might be anyone and everyone out there, but
you're just lucky that you don't have one in the middle seat too, so that they can reach each other at all times.
Oh no, my kids will still find a way to reach each other.
Yeah, but it's still not like throat grabbing.
Yeah, I did find that with the truck driving down as opposed to a car, there was a little more space, and they had to put a little more effort to reach over and kind of hit each other. But we had an amazing time, but we cut our trip short by a couple of days. We were going to go to the beach in the Carolinas, and I just looked at my wife one morning. I'm like,
"You're light."
My light, and my wife. Yes, I looked at her. I said, "You're radiant and glowing." I know you're listening to this and smiling right now, whenever this comes out.
Her brown eyes.
Stop it! You're gonna get me in trouble. Why would you ruin that?
Sorry,
by bringing up something from the past. Justine's always trying to get me in trouble. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I looked at her. I was like, "Hey,
let's go home.
Do you want to go home early?" And she's like, "Yes." Like there was no hesitation. We're like, let's just cut it a little short and get home and get back into the groove, because we want to get everything squared away before school is back and transitioning into the fall season. Because for us as pastors, September is go time. It's launching into everything.
We were saying this last night at prayer, is we were like, September, even though it's not like the start of the new year, it's the start of the calendar year. Like it's the start of the church calendar, the school calendar. That's how we go from September to June, and then summer is a free for all, and then September to June. And so here we go, jumping in, diving in.
Okay, there you go.
I jumped. Anyway, it's too bad that Lindsay doesn't have a microphone.
I know. We're still in summer mode. It's August. We're not into September yet, so we're not quite back into full form. We're coming out of vacation right now.
But I haven't had any vacation, so
it's coming.
It's still summer. Summer is just like a different vibe altogether. I've gone to a lot of church services this summer, and so I was saying to Chris wants to talk about transitioning into fall, and I want to talk about what I learned this summer. And so we're gonna probably do like a bit of a combo because we don't agree. And so this summer I attended a lot of church. So at Lakeshore Pentecostal Camp, that's where our cottage is. We have family camps, and we have youth camps and kids camps and all of the things. And so I feel at the end of the summer, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm excited. And I think vacation can act as the same thing too there, because you do learn lessons still when you're driving in the car with your family. Oh yeah, I learned lots of lessons. Like, there's a lot of caffeine in a Starbucks strawberry refresher, and you should not give it to your child 1 hour before you want to go to bed. Oh my gosh, you gave them a caffeine refresher? Those actually have a ton of caffeine in them. No, we now realize this. You didn't know that though? I knew there was like some. I didn't realize it was like chocked full. I don't drink. I drink coffee. I know. Like, I don't drink those fruity drinks. Yeah, those are not just fruity drinks. Anyway, they're not just lemonade. We gave them to our kids, and they were bouncing off the walls because we're at Disney, and they were like thirsty, and it was just like monkeys swinging from the ceiling. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, you drugged your children. Essentially. Okay, so Max. Thank you for wording it that way. literally, because I'm coming off it and it feels like coming off a drug. Max, we gave Coke one time at the theaters. We were with you guys, and he was like complaining about his chest hurting or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was the caffeine.
Heart palpitations.
And yeah. Yeah. So just FYI, be careful with caffeinated drinks. And you'd be surprised what has caffeine in it these days. Like those refreshers. They're
man,
not kids
just bouncing. Because we looked it up after, and like I knew there was caffeine in it.
No, it's
but
actually
I thought
impressive.
It was more like pop level caffeine.
Yeah.
But when Ruth looked it up, it was like
it's like coffee level.
It's like, higher than coffee.
Well, it's like espresso. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
that's why people like are addicted to those. Yeah. You've always wondered.
Also, don't give espresso to your children, just in case. Let's just throw that out there. If anybody, if this is a question you had, don't give espresso to your children.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were saying less things you learned.
Yeah. Do you want me to share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to look at my.
We'll figure out how we're going to go. This is a very unplanned, impromptu episode.
Okay. So. Okay, I'm going to start off with something that we've talked about before. So, so youth camp was this past weekend. We had 12 people from our church go to youth camp. There's 350 youth there. And this is like a humbling lesson that I learned. And the worship, whatever.
I don't know what you're going to say.
I know.
I don't know how to coach you.
I don't know either. Okay. So I'm not meaning to sound bad because it's me who is wrong. So when you go to...
There's been so many amazing things that you've said in the last couple minutes. Can you clip this for later?
Yeah. Okay, so youth camp, there's 350 youth there. So that's like grades 9 to 12, and they're going after God. And I didn't go to like the whole camp because I had my kids, but my parents watched the kids so I could go to the night services. And I'm someone who, I'm not a huge fan of talking during worship.
Right.
Like when a worship leader talks a lot in worship, I find like I just want to go. But I'm also not a teenager. So I was a little bit like, keep stopping and talking. But the worship leader coached the youth to a point where it was like breakthrough happened. So it was like, for me as a older, like more mature in my walk with God, I don't need to be coached in worship. I just want to go. Like, just take me there. Take me to the inner courts. Like, I'm ready. And so they kept on stopping, and I was like, come on, like, let's get the show on the road. I'm ready. And just like, okay, guys, like, you need to go after God. Like, this is our last night that's like a full night, because it was a Saturday night. There's still Sunday night, but like, this is our last night. Like, we need to go to the place. We need to get there. We need to lay it all down. Like, maybe we're too cool at this point, but like, we need to go. So then they would start the song, and then someone else would stop, and they would coach again, and then they stop and start and then stop. And like, it was like 3 times, and I was like, come on. Right? Mm-hmm. And then after that third time...
I have so much to say. Sorry, keep going.
After that third time, it was like the youth were there. And we sang, "It's your breath in my lungs. We pour out your praise." That one. "All the earth will shout your name."
Great Lord.
So good. And it went on for like, I swear, like 45 minutes. We sang that song over and over. And like, you could see the shift take place in the youth. It started that they were all like on their knees, and then they like all started standing, and then like the sound and like watching even like our own youth, like just like so connected, so like locked in, where before you could tell that there wasn't that locked inness. And then it just was like, I was wrong. This was needed. This is what they needed. Yep. And learning that like different ages need different things, different people need different things, different cultures need different things in order to connect, right? So tell me what you're...
Yeah, so many aspects to that, and I've had this conversation with Andrew Jones, who we had
Had
on
the worship talk with.
when we
Yeah.
had the worship conversation, and there is such a skill that you can develop as a worship leader in your ability to pastor people through times of worship. Like you said, sometimes you're dealing with a congregation that is very mature. Like you don't have to coax them, you don't have to push them from the first bar of music. They're there to worship.
Yeah.
And they're going for it.
Which is, I feel, what we have at our church.
Right.
Right? So that's what I'm used to.
Yeah. And so then you get maybe like a crowd of young people who their attention span is like an inch long.
Like in 20 seconds.
Yeah. And so while they're there and, their friends have said, all right, let's go to the front. We're going to worship at the front and, put our hands up and do that. You're still trying to corral their attention. And it's one thing to get their attention, but then you actually have to take their attention and shift their focus now to Jesus, so that it's not on you now.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I need your attention for a minute, teenagers, but then you're now steering their attention towards Jesus. And so it's kind of this dance that you do,
a skill.
And a skill that you develop, where you're grabbing their attention, and this is why an upbeat first song is really important in a set list, because it gives you a moment to almost get everybody on the same page. Even in scripture, we see enter his courts. Excuse me. Enter his courts with thanksgiving. Enter his house with thanksgiving, his courts with praise. Thank you. And so this is like the way you get everybody synced up in worship almost.
Yeah.
And our hearts beating as one, and so when you're doing that as a worship pastor, you've got, and this is the tricky part, is that if as you're grabbing their attention, you don't become addicted to the attention they're giving you.
Yeah.
And that is a major stopping point for a lot of worship leaders. They love the attention and it becomes about them.
Yeah.
And not about Jesus.
Right.
And as someone who is in public life and seen on a stage, you, myself, any pastor, any worship leader, anybody who does any public ministry, there is always this this opportunity to put your hand on God's glory, or to take what should be holy and set apart completely for him, the attention, the magnification, all of these things that we would want to, the worship, and actually touch it ourselves and derive any type of satisfaction from people's attention. And so in worship, one of the things you've got to be constantly thinking about is, am I doing this for me? Or am I now directing their attention to Jesus? Yeah. And so to hear what was happening at this camp is that they know what they're doing. And so sometimes you get the worship leader who will stop between every single song because they want people to know that they've got something to say.
Right. No.
Whereas this is the outcome on your side was different. And so, like I said, it's an interesting thing to watch people do. And someone who can masterfully lead people in worship is Andrew Jones. He's the one who I saw pastor, where I first understood the concept of pastoring people through worship, especially when you feel like they're not with you yet, or maybe they're still wearing the baggage from the week, or whatever it is. And it's an amazing thing when you can take people who aren't focused and get them focused on Jesus. And then it's almost like you can then stand back and worship just happens as a living organism, for the Lord.
Which is totally what happened. Yeah. And it was beautiful, and it prepared the way then for after the message. Then the altar call was just crazy. And when I say crazy, I just mean young people going after God, weeping before him, praying with one another, having encounters with God, which it's been something that we don't see as often anymore. And so it was just beautiful, and that worship paved the way. And so just so important. Yeah. Really good.
And do you feel and this is a question I want to ask, and I guess we'll see this play out in as the days go on, because a huge criticism of camps is that it's an emotional hype and high, and no real change takes place, and then things return to the status quo. Now, before you answer, I know part of your story, so I know it was life altering for you,
but it was because of the high,
right? And so one thing I want to say
and hype,
one thing I want to say to those who might have that in the back of their mind, thinking, "Oh, camps are, they're just in their emotions. Teenagers are just in their emotions." I want to say, God created us with emotions. Are we supposed to turn that part of ourselves off when we're worshiping our Creator? Is it just supposed to be an intellectual discipline or experience that we just focus? We sing these songs. We're not emotional at all about it. And we move on. And it's really frustrating when I hear like, oh, they're just whipping them up into an emotional frenzy. No, well, first of all, that's not what's happening. It's when when you truly ascribe worth, when we're focused on our Creator, on our Savior, there should be some type of emotional response in understanding His grace towards us, His forgiveness towards us, the sacrifice that He made, and now we're actually connecting with our Creator. It shouldn't just be an intellectual experiment. It should be an emotional response because we're worshiping with all of who we are.
You mean
and that would include our emotions.
Experiment?
What?
You mean experience, not experiment.
Did I say experiment? Yeah, experience.
It's just a little bit funny.
Yeah. It should be with every part of who we are, including our emotions.
Yeah. I think the fact that, so when I think camp was always a place that I would go where I felt, one, safe, two, the celebration that like I'm surrounded by people who are like me, who love Jesus like me, who want to sing praises to Him. Like I remember each summer like looking around during youth camp or junior high camp or kids camp, and my group of friends who were all camp kids, and being like looking around at them, they're all have their hands lifted high singing, and I'm like, this is life. This is literally what life is supposed to be, like surrounded by those we love, all praising Jesus. And I just like picture like that's what heaven's gonna be like. We're gonna like look around and we're gonna be like, this is sweet, like this is awesome. And that brings a hype, like that excitement of being, especially when you're someone who goes to like a public school or works a secular job, and then you gather at camp. Like I think it feels the same even during family camp, where it's adults all gathered, and it's a new kind, but it's like it's a hype. Like I feel the hype of the summer in me, and I don't think that that's a bad thing, and I don't think it's a fake thing. I think I got to gather with like-minded people and learn more new things about Jesus and praise Him with like different people surrounded around me. Like what an awesome thing. I got to see my kids, mostly kid. The other two are a little young, but like be excited about memory verses and like chanting them all the time and all that kind of stuff. So like there is a hype, and I think that hype is needed. We need refreshment, right? Just like you need your vacation in order to feel refreshed and ready to go, we also need a refreshment with the Lord. That's why people go on retreats and getaways and silent retreats and all of those different things, right? So I've never thought there was anything wrong with hype. I never understood when people started dissing it. Like,
well, the hype thing came off. Hype got tied in with performative.
Like making
church.
a concert or something that, and not actually connecting with Jesus. Right. But then that's not really like,
But what I'm saying is,
it's not an encounter.
No, that culture got intermingled with the word hype, because people, you get hyped for a concert, right? Which is performative in nature. And so when you look at some of these larger worship houses that really were the front runners into, okay, we're going to have all the lights, we're going to have the haze, we're going to have all the
lights were low, and I didn't love that, but
okay. All right, Grandma Justine, let me get through what I'm saying here. All of the accoutrement of a concert, right, was now in the worship space.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people made accusatory statements,
yeah.
right, wrong, or indifferent, that this was devoid of what we were actually trying to do, which is encounter the presence of God. And so if you were hyping people through just a concert experience, then that was negative, and rightfully so. However, none of those things detract from the presence of God. They can be used in conjunction with a worship service that attracts the presence of God. Right. And so all of that is fine. But the word hype kind of got pulled into that, and it became kind of an expression for saying, you know, when everybody was excited and pumped up in this moment, but God's presence wasn't there. Right. And that's essentially what happened.
That's always possible.
For sure.
So, yes, I think that it could go either way. If the presence is there, I think the hype that brings is a different hype, and you'll see the fruit pretty quick. Yeah,
and I think the danger is a lot of people will make internet judgments from far away and not have been in the room. Yeah. Because if you're in the room, you know if God's presence is there. It's one thing to watch on a screen and be like, oh, look at that performative. Oh, they got the big screens and the lights and the haze. All these people are just hyped up into an emotional frenzy, but they're not in the room. They don't know what was going on. They don't know the word that was preached. They don't know how that service started, how it ended, if anybody got healed, if miracles took place, none of that. But it's easy to be an armchair quarterback and make calls from the comfort of your couch as you're looking at a screen about a service that took place. Yeah. Or even for me, like my initial thought when you were telling me what took place at camp, crusty old Chris in my mind thought, I wonder how much of this was an emotional high. But as you began to tell the story, because you were in the room, I was like, okay, good. They went there. They were locked in, you know?
Oh, no,
But that's how easy it is to do that. So
that's also a problem with being in ministry, like vocational ministry, is that you do just become more judgy. And it's something that you have to keep in check, is like, just because they're not doing it the way that I would do it, doesn't mean that it's not going to be what God wants them to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I'll give you an example. I went and visited my friends in Albany, Georgia, who run an amazing church. Their church is doing incredible things, like from their weekly services to the ministries they run throughout the week. They're making a huge impact on their community. But on Sunday morning, they run 3 services. And so I had the opportunity to sit in on 2, just the way it kind of fell. And I could not turn off my brain from analyzing. Yeah. You would think if I just analyzed the first service, I could sit and enjoy the second one. Nope. Just my vocational ministry, pastor, technology brain was just analyzing even as every
a musician.
Aspect
like
of
I can see Lindsay like watching the musicians, and he just gets distracted in that.
Yeah, I there was a couple moments during the worship where I had to tell myself mentally, stop thinking about this, focus on what's happening right now, and just worship. And it's hard. It's really hard
to turn off that mind. Yeah, for sure. Even like different speakers and stuff as they come up, I shared this because I spoke on James 2 about don't be a snob a few weeks ago. But when a speaker comes up to speak, and immediately when they start talking, you are like, oh, what's this going to be like, or whatever. And then it's beautiful and they're gifted and there's like all this great stuff. But we all do it as people in our own field. Is when someone comes, we start to judge them before we even know them. And that's something that we have to like constantly lay down before the Lord.
And then fighting off the jealousy and comparison and all of these things.
Man, I wish I was there was so there's one speaker at youth camp. He shared that Matt Tapley, who we're big fans of Matt Tapley. He's a great
Shout out Matt
speaker.
Tapley, come on the podcast.
He said one saying that he says all the time is that the place most people lie is in their worship, or something like that.
Oof.
Is in their song, when they sing songs.
Tapley said this?
But the guy was saying what Tapley said. Oh, I wish I remembered the exact saying, but it was like, because the words, like, for example, great are you, Lord. What does it mean that God is Lord, right, of our life, King of our life? are we actually acting like he is the Lord? And so when we sing songs is when we lie the most, because we are saying things, but we're not following through on them.
I give you my heart. I give you my all. Lord, have your way in me.
Yeah.
Did you really want that?
Yeah. Like all the worship songs, if you think about it, like that, they're commitment songs. And are we actually living like the words that we sing? And I was like, oh, that's a good word. And I think like lately in I've been feeling the reverence of God. And I want to feel it like I've heard these stories of like when the reverence of God comes in the room, that is just like, it feels like you can't move. And not like in a weird way, like in a like, whoa, God is here. Like God is right here. And I've heard these stories, and lately when I've been praying, I just like, I don't feel like I need to like I'm pretty like a loud, like quick prayer. I don't know. Like I like get into it. Passionate prayer. But lately I've felt that I need to be quiet in my praying. And I feel like it's because I feel like we're in a season where we're going to experience the reverence of the Lord. I don't know. That's what God's speaking to me. And so I hope it does happen.
I think there's just in any relationship, there's an evolution, and I dare not say evolution of in talking about the Lord, but there is progression. There's a progression. That you'll go through times where you feel like you just need to be quiet before the Lord, where you need to be petitioning, like continually before the Lord, where prayer, the only way you can pray is expressing it through worship. Like there's seasons that you can go through, and they're producing something new and something different in you as you go through them. I can think of a season in my prayer life where it felt like I was dry and I didn't know what to say. And I was struggling so hard, like for months in my prayer life. And what actually broke it out was me just daily, continually writing in a journal, like writing whatever prayer I could. And it just, even then, it felt like I was in a wilderness. And then, then a season of refreshing came, but it came not the way I expected it, but it was a season of weeping, where I would just get into prayer and I just start crying. And it wasn't like I was like in mourning. It was just like the presence of God was washing over me. And the only response that I had was just to cry. And it was great. But I think, you do go through those seasons, and they are indicators of what's happening in your prayer life, will be indicators of what's happening in public ministry. And so, I totally see how that could be, you saying yourself, you're a loud and vibrant prayer to have a season where it's going to be quiet and reserved. It might be indicative of what's coming or what you feel for the next season. No, I think that what you were saying about being honest in our worship, I think that's something we could all take a lesson from. Especially, I was thinking about this actually over the summer, because I had a conversation with someone who was talking about someone in their family who they were trying to tell me that they believe that God is real and they believe what Jesus did. And my response to them was, but is he Lord of their life? Congratulations. Like, they espouse to what we believe, but like, is any of their life changed or lived in light of that information? And it's not. And so my question would be, and my question to anybody who calls himself a Christian, like, and it was prompted out of, I had no plan to go here today at all, is he your Lord in any capacity? Is any decision that you make, is any part of how you live your life filtered through the lens of, I am a redeemed child of God, and I have vowed to serve him, and my life is now a reflection of who he is, not me just living my life the way I want to live it, but I am now a representative here on this earth of who God is in heaven. And if you can't take hold of anything that
not
would show that.
every way, because
I'm saying anyway.
No, I know.
I
wanted to like be clear. I heard you say anyway, but not every way. Like
none of us are perfect.
And none of us have it in every way. And I want to be clear that like that's what makes us, we're in a journey to constantly grow more in that way that God is Lord of our life. And it's not in every way, because if it was in every way, then we would not sin. So in any way, so in any part, is there any progress taking place towards that?
For sure. But we can slip into self-deception in thinking because I believe something, I don't actually have to actively live it out. And what is James? We've been in a series on James. Don't just be hearers, but be doers. You're like,
that's not what gets you saved, but it shows that you do believe that God is God.
Right. But an active faith in you will produce good works, right? There will be a response to what God has done. Not that it in any way draws you closer to him or is the method by which you achieve salvation. But that, like, do you even go to church? Is there any part of your life where you pray? Is worship music ever in your house? Do you worship? Like, any of those small little indicators that I wouldn't even say guarantee that you're going to church doesn't get you into heaven. Listening to worship music doesn't get you into heaven.
If I say to you though, that I think, let's use essential oils. If I think essential oils are great, but then I don't ever use them, then would you jump on board with essential oils with me? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I say something like, oh, this is a great sale, blah, 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 but then I didn't go to the sale, you know what I mean? Like, we have to show that we believe.
You're peddling something you don't believe. Like, you don't believe in enough to make it a part of your life. And so it's a tricky thing to talk to somebody about, because the truth of the matter is we don't know. Like, your relationship with the Lord is your relationship with the Lord. And while I can judge the fruit, while I can judge the fruit, I still don't know. I am not the king of eternity. I am not the one who sits on the throne and passes judgment, right? But it's important, and for anybody who's listening, just every once in a while, take stock. Make a mental list in your heart and in your mind. You know, am I truly serving Jesus? And what does that look like? Am I representing him well? As someone who has been purchased by Jesus, do you represent who he is? Because someone in living a secular life, if you were to stop them on the street and say, what do you think it takes to get into heaven? But what's their response? Almost always, be a good person. Well, you can't be a good person. So, Jesus said only God is good, right? And so let's throw that out the window. So are we actively serving and following Jesus? Are we fulfilling the Great Commission? Are we following in what he has for us in our daily experience? Not just like, oh, I go to church, on Sundays. But in our daily lives, are we waking up every morning and saying, Jesus, I'm ready to serve you. What are we doing? And sometimes it's just go to work, be a good spouse, love your children, go to sleep, wake up the next day. But are we available? Are we living for him? And so, back, what threw me down that tangent was a lot of the worship songs we sing are vows and oaths to the Lord. And like Matt Tapley said, they're some of the biggest lies we sing. And we're the ones that are deceived. It's not like we're actively telling these lies. We're deceived into thinking that this is true.
Another speaker spoke about power tools, and I thought it went well with Chris used to do stuff.
That's right. I'm a chronic stuff doer.
Construction and plumbing and stuff like that.
Contracting.
in his break between ministry gigs, and also he does it at his house because it keeps flooding.
The perpetual working on a house that never stops.
Anyway, so he talked about how if you just gave your kid a circular saw or whatever, and they don't know how to use it, they're going to cut off their limbs, like they're going to hurt themselves. And how with spiritual gifts, there are power tools. Like literally, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. And so we have these power tools, but we just like keep them in the closet because we don't know how to use them. There's like a few different kinds of people. There's the people who just like keep it in the closet. We don't know how to use them. They're scary. I don't want to touch it. And then there's the people who have no idea what they're doing, and they just like grab those power tools and they use them all over the place and end up cutting off people's limbs. And I thought that was just like such a good...
Their houses are a disaster because they don't know actually what they're doing.
Well, like exactly. Yeah. So like... it's like such a good analogy that I just like loved it. But then when you do know how to use them and you use them well, then God is able to do something so much quicker than with a hammer and nail or with a hand saw or whatever. So we need to start practicing and training people in the power tools. And if you've been part of the Pentecostal experience, then you know that it has gotten skewed, that people have misused the power tools. They've hurt people. They've given prophecies that were not prophecies. They've
well, and this, I would say that exists even outside of a Pentecostal, in the charismatic movement.
Yeah. A lot of the speakers who were there this summer, like at least 3 of them said, I don't want anyone praying for anyone aggressively. I don't want anyone putting their hand on people's heads and pushing. Do not push anyone. Like, don't do that, because people used to push people over so that they would feel the glory, sort of like what you're talking about with the worship leader, right? And like they were so specific. Like when we're praying for the baptism of the Holy Spirit, then I don't want you like doing anything weird. I want you to calmly pray for them.
Yep.
It is God who does the work. And I just like thought it was just so good and so refreshing that we're not like hiding the things in the closet anymore, because that's what's happened for a season, probably for like the last, I would say like 10 years.
Longer than that.
I know. We've been putting the power tools away, and our churches have become dead because Holy Spirit hasn't been able to move because our power tools are hidden in the closet. And it's like now, because we had our power tools going like crazy, so they all put them in the closet, locked the door, and now they're taking them out carefully and safely. And it was just like a beautiful sight. And so I just believe that God is going to start moving in the church today, and that it feels like everyone's on the same page. Yep. Like, let's be careful with these power tools, but also we need them because this world is looking for miraculous signs from the Lord, and he is here to show up. Like, he's here to do them.
Yeah. A chronic problem that a lot of people have in life is that they don't read the manual. And with a power tool, it's really important that you read the manual and know exactly how it's supposed to function and not guess. Because guess will get you in a lot of trouble. What does they say about assuming? I think everybody else can fill in those blanks.
PG-13 here.
Yeah. But it's important that you know what you're doing rather than just go out there and try. And to every person, I'll throw this out there, to every person at every altar who ever tried to push me over, yes, you did feel my forehead pushing back. I was not out of spite going to go down because you needed me to go down with your pushing. So I just, and if you're happening to listen, you're like, I prayed for that guy and he wouldn't go down. That's because I felt you pushing on my forehead and I leaned my forehead.
I have never been slain in the spirit on my own, on the Lord's will. Like, I don't even know if it's a thing, to be honest.
Hot take, spicy take.
But
Lindsay almost choked on the grape that he's chewing.
Okay. No, okay.
Better watch out for your credentials.
No. My dad, he went, he had like a crazy experience with the Lord at the airport church when he was like just saved.
How many people has that sentence been said?
Yeah.
My blank had a crazy experience at the airport church.
But his changed his life, like in the good way. So he was prayed for, and he said that he, like, when people like told him what happened, that he like flew back like to the ground and like was like, I think that's when he was baptized in the Holy Spirit, that he was or encountered Holy Spirit. We could go different ways, and I
wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let you keep going.
Just saying, one of these days we're going to talk about baptism of the Holy Spirit, and we're going to talk about, like, is it just one time? Is it many times? Does it have to have certain evidence? Blah, blah, blah. But that's for another day, not today. But my dad was speaking in tongues, and he like spoke, he was from Kingston all the way to Toronto, spoke tongues all the way home, could not stop. So like a really cool, so I do think it happens. I just think it doesn't happen as much as it was happening.
Right.
Do you hear, do you follow? Anyway.
I think I think falling down under, I don't even like using the word slain. I
know.
I think.
What does slain even mean? Dead?
Technically, yeah. Because
dead in the spirit.
Yes, but because Goliath was slain by David. We
literally are alive. Like,
I think when I think it's a real experience when the power of God falls on somebody in such a way that their body doesn't know how to respond except
to collapse.
Mm-hmm. That is a real thing. Yeah. I know so many people who are very genuine in their faith that have had this happen to them. It has not happened to me.
So I know.
And so I'm wondering if it's my stubborn personality, because you have the similar stubborn personality.
Both of us are like skeptics.
Yeah.
I've experienced God come down on me, but not in a way that I collapse, but in a way that like I twitch.
Okay. So I have not had the twitch, but I've felt the weight of God's glory.
And cried.
Felt when you talked about when you're in a room and the awe and the glory of God falls. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've had waking visions in the middle of services, like all of that stuff. I'm not a hardened
Never
emotional soul
God.
who refuses to allow God to do any work. That's not the case. But yeah, I think it's a very real thing. But I think it was extremely abused for a season.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of washed their hands of it.
Yeah, I think
and
so
like you
too.
Said, like the speaker said, put these things away in a closet, locked it up, and said, we're not going to touch that for a while. Let's go to a more conservative approach. And then the seeker sensitive stuff kind of crept into Pentecostal and charismatic churches. And now it seems as though we might be swinging not from one pendulum to the other, but maybe to a balance.
Yeah. Which is it's really exciting.
And I love that a lot of these speakers are coming out of our generation.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see that, like,
and that they're bold enough to say those things to
the older generation. I was like, you kind of dropped the ball here.
Yeah. No, it's they didn't say that. They said it very respectfully,
no,
but they said it like point blank. I don't want to see anyone at the altar doing these things. It is God who works, not humans. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, Jesus. Amen.
Yeah. And because the pushing down was for what?
Why?
You're not increasing their ability to receive the Lord. If anything, it's an ego thing.
Oh, yeah. So he said that one time someone did it to him, pushed him down. The Power Tools guy pushed him down, and he was like,
Tim the Toolman Taylor? Was his name Tim? Tell me his name was Tim.
Who's the preacher? No, it was Travis.
Because there was a Tim at camp.
Yeah. He gave the same instructions though to people.
Yeah.
And then Travis did, and then the youth pastor, the one at youth convention, did too. But
what about blowing? Was blowing okay? If you blew on people?
Stop. We don't do that since COVID. But so Travis said that someone pushed him down, and he had a choice to make. And this is important for people to hear, is he had a choice to make. Am I going to let that person make me walk away from God? Mm-hmm. Or am I going to choose to get back up and continue to seek him in his presence.
Amen.
And he got up and continued to seek him. And like God has done amazing things in his life. But we have that choice. Are we going to let humans who are faulty, make us walk away from God and his spirit and what he can do and what he can do in our lives? Or are we going to get back up and keep going after him despite the flawed humans who do ministry?
Yeah.
Right? Like
we've had
you've
this
been pushed and stuff,
we've had
right?
this conversation before. Like, there needs to be a certain resolve. If we're going to follow Jesus, there needs to be a certain resolve that we're not going to let people of the church deter us from following Jesus.
Yeah.
We're not following the church. We are the church. We are the living organism that is together following Jesus under his lordship, his headship. And so if we are going to be, it's easy, you can be tripped up by those around you. It's fine. When you're running a race together, someone stumbles in front of you, they can knock you off your feet. That can happen. But like you said, get back up, because the race isn't about the person who stumbled in front of you. The race isn't about even maybe the person who maliciously stuck their foot out to trip you.
Yeah.
The race is about getting to the finish line so that you can receive your heavenly reward, which is eternity with Jesus. And so never be deterred by humans doing human things, which is...
Because you'll miss out.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to miss out.
Because even people with the purest intentions can get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure people trying to push me over had, for the most part, the purest of intentions. I can think of a couple who didn't, but for the most part, had the purest intentions, and that's okay. And I'm fine. I know, I can understand what it is.
Chris, you are a seasoned...
Not back then I wasn't.
No. You are, I'm going somewhere. You are a seasoned power tool person, okay?
It's true.
Have you ever messed up? Since you've been seasoned, you're trained, you've done lots of amazing things, but do you screw up even after?
I have a scar here on my thumb. You won't be able to see it, but 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, it was the end of the day, the final cut. I was using a skill saw, and I was ripping a piece of plywood in half, and I was being super safe. I had, started it, got it all the way to the end, and my hand was way back holding the side of the board, and it just bound, and it rolled up on the plywood, came all the way back, and went right through my thumb. And I have the pictures, which I could give to Lindsay, but it would be like banned by YouTube. Basically, my thumb was split in half.
Yeah.
And you could see the bone, and they had to pull the nail out of the nail bed while my thumb was not frozen. So I had 3 stitches in the thumb and 4 stitches in the nail bed. And that was, I had been using power tools for years, doing it safely, and it just went wrong.
And so that can happen to seasoned Christians who know how to use power tools. They can get it wrong. They can get the word of prophecy wrong. They can say the wrong thing while praying that hurts and cuts. But we're all humans. We all screw up, even when we're experts on things. I'm sure in anyone's profession, they make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Well, nobody is perfect. Only Christ is perfect. And for anybody to think that you're batting 1,000 at any part of your life is folly, which means you're imperfect.
Even
just
Steph
even
Curry.
Think that. Steph Curry, that's your go-to
basketball
reference?
I don't even watch basketball, but I just feel
Lindsay, what are you doing?
Who would you say? What sports person would you say?
For what?
Like, who's perfect?
Nobody's perfect.
No,
but
I mean,
as
like,
close to perfection as it could be, Michael Jordan. Like, as far as like
more than Steph Curry, I thought he passed
in
him.
his bro. What? Like, bro?
I don't know anything.
Bro,
Lindsay doesn't watch basketball.
He knows enough about sports not to say Steph Curry passed Michael Jordan.
He doesn't tell me that.
No, LeBron is the only person in that argument. And just so I can set the record straight for anybody listening wonders where I am on the LeBron Michael Jordan, it's not even close. Michael Jordan, like, thank you, like, not even close. But as far as
I feel like he was ruined with Space Jam.
No, that was at like the height of his. Your takes today are just. You need to go back to coffee. That's what like you need to go back to coffee. Like, oh my gosh. So
If someone
quickly
can help
say
me-
something else that's gonna be ridiculous.
If someone can help me with my gallbladder issues and I can keep drinking coffee, I really think I need it too.
How about like Wayne Gretzky? Wayne Gretzky for hockey. Because here's the thing, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, greatest pop. But here's the thing, all of their personal lives were train wrecks. Michael Jordan, his relationships are problematic. Tiger Woods, greatest golfer.
No, apparently there's another guy right now who's beating Tiger Woods. My dad told me about his name. He's had like a bunch of championships this summer, and he's coming up on Tiger.
That's another hot take today. Anyway, so
Dad, you agree,
I'm glad
right?
everybody tuned in for the sports takes today. We're gonna be ridiculed across the internet.
We've gone pretty deep into the spiritual, so we needed to like come up for air with sports, which I know nothing about. Clearly,
as proven by your takes.
But I have been I have had a struggle bus. Okay, so I've been without coffee now since Tuesday. So it's been a week on Tuesday. So a week and 2 days. And the first week I was so tired every day and I was grouchy. Like really grouchy. I was not happy with life. So that just shows you I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day. That shows you like coffee can have a real effect on you. And so
a really, really good effect
apparently.
on you.
So we're
get
gonna
up in the morning. This is my
we can
routine.
give up anything for 2 weeks for the Lord, right?
Oh, 100%. Doesn't mean it's easy
No,
or enjoyable.
it's not.
Like that's like when you fast, like fasting isn't fun.
It's just coffee.
Like no, but like
No, I
food
know.
though, Larry. It's fasting is an amazing
At
spiritual
least with fasting, though, you
discipline.
get to have coffee.
Fair enough. Maybe that's why I prefer to fast. But like it's a great discipline, but it's not enjoyable.
No.
Like you know, some of the most rewarding things in life are things you really do not want to do.
Like walking.
Sure, exercise, lots of people, you know, it's very good for you, but they just can't. There's always a reason not to. There's always a reason not to fast. There's always a reason not to pray. There's always a
Read
reason
your
not.
Bible.
Yeah. So, I mean, we should probably tie
Wrap
a bow
her
on
up.
this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving into the next season, what are your tips for us?
Well, that's quite the segue, and
Just
only
pray?
5 minutes.
Just pray.
No, Ed. I wanted to talk, but we didn't get
still
there.
could
That's fine.
talk
No.
about it next one.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the next one we have a guest actually.
I don't know if that's the next one.
Okay.
There's probably one before then.
Sure, I don't know. But we have some guests coming up that I'm really excited about. So stay tuned for that. But no, I wanted to talk about that transition of going from, you know, one season to the next, the laid backness of summer into a season where it's, if you don't hit the ground with your feet already running, you're just going to trip and fall. And that's what it feels like in ministry. And even just how you prepare yourself, like with our kids right now, we're not getting up at the normal time we would for Ruth and the kids to get ready for work and school. And so we have to mentally prepare.
Will you do that next week?
I'm assuming we will. We haven't talked about it, but
so you're not preparing, but you want to tell us to prepare.
That's not what I was saying.
Just kidding.
That's not what I was saying. But like when you begin to mentally prepare for transitioning to a season where everything begins to shift, what you have to do in your mind, what you have to do in your heart, what you have to be thinking about, where it's been, you don't have to think as intensely about things in these seasons of like, I'm getting up at 7 as opposed to 6. Then you shift to where it's more singularly focused, and you have to be more strategic in, I'm gonna go to bed earlier. Yeah. I'm gonna be more intentional about my rest in seasons where you know it's going to be busy, because in the summertime it's lackadaisical. It should be restful. It should be restful.
It's actually the busy.
But for all the parents,
but
all the kids,
days are longer. So I think like even preparing for the darkness. Yeah. Like, especially since
winter is coming.
No, but seriously, last winter was very long, and I feel like people aren't like the anxiousness of looking forward to winter already is like, is it going to be another like dreading, right? And like people get depression in the winter, and like just it's so isolating. So how to prepare for that. So that's a great topic that we will talk about another time.
Yeah. So intentionality. That's where being intentional, even like when you're making lunches for your kids and stuff like that, you are more successful in times of busyness when you are more intentional about your preparation. And the correlation between, you know, our spiritual lives and maybe our lives as parents and students, and not that there's a delineation between the sacred and the secular, but in times of busyness, you have to be more intentional about, I'm going to spend time praying. I'm going to spend time reading my Bible. Because it's easy to just have a lackadaisical approach when it seems like it's not as busy. But you can't do that.
Once the grind
in the
starts.
September Octobers of life.
Christmas.
Whew.
It's coming.
I'm already looking at Christmas music.
That's crazy.
Take that in.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at Christmas music. It makes me sick to my stomach, I tell you.
All right. So with that, we are going to wrap up. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had a great summer and are ready for September. We hope that you will log on to YouTube and press subscribe. I think we only have like 55 subscribers, but it seems like more than that is listening. So if you're listening on Spotify or something like that, can you go over to YouTube and subscribe so that we can reach 1,000 subscribers? I know it's a big ask, but we would really appreciate it. Follow along. We have stories that are posted on our Instagram at Squabbling Saints, and you can just be reminded of new episodes coming up. And yeah, have a great day.
Yeah. See you.